Graham, aka DumpsterTech from themodzu.com. With me is Greg.
Greg, PCPackRat, smart computer store.
How smart is the store?
Awesome. It knows everything.
Good.
And we kind of have our first reaction to the Phanteks Eclipse P400S. Kind of, we just got it out of the box and we're taking a look.
What the hell is the S stand for?
Silent.
Why are you talking?
And Captain Curry is on the camera.
Point it to yourself like Bill does.
Knowing me, I'll cause something to go bad. So.
Okay.
To break. Sure.
So, should we walk around the case for a little bit, or?
Sure.
So this is the P400S. A couple of nice features about the S is it's got, just going on the top here, right here, we have their kind of, I don't know, Moduvent inspired.
Magnavents.
Magnavents, that's what we're going to call them.
I wouldn't call them inspired because these are a million times better.
They don't have break-off tabs.
Yeah.
Yes.
These are really nice.
You know?
But they do have that extra silent padding.
Yes.
For your protection.
Yes. Or pleasure.
Or pleasure. Yeah, I was setting that up for you.
Okay.
So, got a headphone mic, 2 USB 3.0 ports, a power button, illuminated. And speaking of...
It's a ring, a lighted ring.
Lighted ring. But speaking of illumination, we have some
Illuminati?
buttons under here, including an LED controller that lights up an LED that goes underneath for an underglow. Under the lip here, now, if you got really big fingers, this might be a problem. I've got little fingers, so I'm okay.
What's the third one?
Reset.
Oh, your reset button is hidden there?
Yep.
So when you're trying to change your color, you might accidentally reset your computer.
Yeah, that could be a design flaw. I don't know.
And where are the RGB lights?
I believe
Besides
it's
the ring,
and I believe there's
on the
one right
bottom?
here. Yep.
I see a little light right there. A little nice Phanteks.
And of course, you can plug off of that to another, if you got any more Phanteks RGB strips, you can go for internal case layout. But they just have the, this, and then. But the nice thing is you can relay that off, and then this can all be controlled by this one controller. And actually, or if you're going to do some of the new Asus RGB boards, Phanteks now sells a $3 adapter that you can buy, and then you can use that instead. That was compatible with their RGB strips.
The RGB plug-in actually is universal. It's just has a different type of plug that everyone uses on the Chinese stuff.
Yep.
So you could still custom do your own if you don't want to pay them.
Nice big window on the side here. And we have captive thumb screws on here.
Notice the window doesn't show where the basement cover is. They didn't waste window.
For
to
basement
show
cover?
the basement.
Yeah, I like the clean, simple design.
Well,
Because
part of
not
the reason...
everybody... Because one of the things I feel is at this price point, chances are you're not going to buy a $300 plus power supply.
No. Actually, we should talk about the price. The standard P400 is $69.99 and for MSRP, and then the P400S, I believe, is $10 more, so it's $79.99.
You could pull the front panel off. It's held on by ball and sockets.
Oh, my
basically.
favorite.
Yeah, ball and sockets, so it snaps off
Ball and
very
what?
easily.
Ball and socket.
Then again, you have the sound deadener in there too.
And then what you also have here is, for fan filtration, you've actually got these two little pieces right here, because again, the intake and are right here in the front and the top.
So your filters that you can take out and clean.
Yeah.
That is attention to detail, I would say.
Well, just imagine. I mean, you've seen that when you don't do this, how much dust you get piling up in here, because basically this becomes like a nice little den for crud, And like I said, I actually do really love that ball and socket, which kind of that Phanteks does on the
Evolve.
Yeah, on the Evolve, yeah. So.
And then your RGB strip is right here,
Yep.
which shines through to the front panel.
And you can see the cabling right there. We've got a single 120 right now in the front. Obviously, options, you can go to a 360 or a... Can we do a...
3140.
3140s.
Yeah.
Or a 420.
Does the top panel come off?
It doesn't.
Okay.
As far as I can tell. But the side panel does. Like I said, captive thumb screws back there. Now I will say this: when we got this first, it was a little tight. The machine tightened out of the factory. So. Oh, actually, I want to point this out. We have more sound dampening material in this one around the window. So even though we got the window in there, they still did some extra sound dampening on there, which I think is true of the S series. So we have a completely sectioned off basement.
I like that.
Completely shrouded off.
Is it finished or unfinished?
I want to say this is a finished basement. Now, one thing you'll notice too, there's no cutouts for seeing your power supply. You know, getting the power supply logo there, which is some people like, some people don't. I personally could care less. I don't necessarily need to be showing off the brand on my power supply. Because I buy cheap power supply. No.
Well, not just that. My problem is, like some power supplies, they have the logo on one side and specs on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, every time I end up having the specs being displayed to the public. So.
Or the label's upside down.
Yeah.
Levels upside down, or maybe you got a silver power supply. Maybe for some reason you're using like a nice old Seasonic power supply or something that's...
If only we knew somebody who had a laser cutter or
but you don't need to,
pre-cut
but if you don't know somebody with a
to
laser
cut
cutter or
logos.
vinyl, you've got a nice covered.
That's true.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, I can make you a Corsair AX1200 decal that goes on in the basement.
You can get those at Monkey Mods. No.
Yes,
So I will say this though, it is vented though.
very well vented.
Yeah. So your basement is vented.
So you don't
No.
die of radon gas or something.
Yes, we don't know. You'd have to have a radon detector in your basement.
I'm actually gonna pop up the back panel here too. More captive. Oh,
One thing I would,
hey look! More sound dampening material.
one other thing I'd point out is that you can remove this panel here and the bay underneath for the hard drives and put a longer radiator, bigger radiator,
Thicker
more
radiator.
fans, thicker radiator.
Nice.
And that's awesome because it gives a lot of flexibility in the front there.
Yeah.
Using 120s, 240s, 280s.
Well, I love the fact we can pop that opening out and then you can put full
360s.
rad,
Yeah,
push
you-
pull.
Probably fit a 360 and
Without that front panel there, you can really get to those buttons.
a lot more room, yeah.
So, getting back here, we have two SSD trays, and they're slide and lock, which I really like.
So even though it's the economy model, they included two.
Yeah.
That's how it should be.
Yeah.
You can also tell for your if you're going to go 3.5-inch hard drives, got there,
And you
full slide out tray.
So it's toolless if you're using 3.5, but you can bolt a 2.5 on there.
Mm-hmm.
And you can remove that whole bay
Yep,
if you're
that
not
whole
gonna
bay
use
comes
it.
out.
Which
Got your power connector for the fan controller and the LED controller. Got a couple of fan taps off that. Velcro! Velcro on your cable management
funny,
trough.
it's got your patented Phanteks cable routing slot.
You know, here's my
But they're
problem with
upside
those.
down.
Yes.
What's up with that?
Wonder if we reuse that part from another case.
Yeah, I fixed it.
Is this a new style?
Hey,
Yeah.
speaking of, since we're over here now,
It's got an attic now, not a basement.
now it's an attic. Got some nice feet on here.
Yes.
Look at that.
Tall, about an
Nice
inch.
fan filter there.
Nice simple slide in, slide out. Looks like you can even remove the feet if you wanted to.
And then you could put some custom feet on there if you wanted. If only we knew somebody who had, a shop that sold custom feet.
Do you sell custom feet too now?
I can sell anything.
We should also talk about what these are.
These are not for sale.
So these are the pass-throughs for extra drives. Now Phanteks does not include this on the P400 or the P400S. If you wanted to buy additional 3.5-inch drive trays, you can get them here. These are separate, and they can be added on here, and then you can take that back plate out, which for letting SATA pass through.
Right, and for a typical user, I would say that you don't need more than
I
a
really
spot
don't
for
think
more
so
than
either.
2, 3.5. I mean, if you do, then
But it's
I
nice
don't
that
know.
they,
Look up and spit.
but it's nice that they have that they're, if you wanted to use it, if you're going to go a different route, you're not going to go big water cooling in the front. You're going to
Yep.
do something with lots of drives.
In
You've
the
got
old
that
days,
option.
it would be cool because if you wanted your velociraptors to show. You put your trays in there and have them all showing. But nowadays, why would you bother?
But again, this is a relatively small box. If you wanted to turn this into, if you wanted to use this chassis for some kind of server, you could. And relatively quiet server with all the padding.
One thing we didn't mention was that it is a very large cutout. Your CPU cooler cutout is pretty big. If you
Hefty.
If you had an ITX board in here, which I don't know why you would put an ITX board in there, it would basically be just a little tiny bit bigger than this hole.
Now, one of the cost-cutting measures that we do see with this, because to get that in that under $100 price point, that under $70 price point, is we go with a cardboard box instead of the plastic box for the accessories.
Which is perfectly fine.
Because I knew, Greg. I knew.
And guess what those are? Magnetic filters for here.
So if we wanted to go more open air, we could.
Yes.
Yep. And
Yep.
this is why I love these guys or love Phanteks, because they think about the little things that I feel other companies totally forget.
And another cost-cutting measure, we didn't get the full brochure, or we got just a little folded paper.
Honestly, if you need assembly guide, you shouldn't be assembling one.
And then this is all the other accessories right here in a plastic baggie.
So if you only put one fan on, you can leave one magnetic vent cover on there, or you can go with both.
Now,
So here's what I'm seeing in this case, which is really impressive, that except for the rear exhaust, every fan area has a dust filter on it.
Yes.
Which is really impressive at this price point, because
if only there was a way to filter the back.
It's going outward.
it's going outward.
Oh, okay. No, you're right.
The key is that buying this case is like buying a silent version and a non-silent version both in one. Because
Yeah, so the
you get them
$10
all
upgrade is worth it.
different.
Well, and again, so what are you sacrificing? Oh, maybe a little bit of cable management space in the back because we have a little bit of padding? No, not really. This padding is,
It's still almost got an inch back here.
Yeah.
If it has room for SSD trays, it's got plenty of room.
and you
for
still get a
wire.
window. And you're still getting a
True.
window.
That's true.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, what I like about it is it doesn't have the, the breakaway tab vents from this other company, or this other company that I shall not name, that has cases in this price point, but they come with, the filters cost as much as the case, and it's
And if anyone,
like I said, I will not name the case at all or the brand.
and if anyone is wondering, this is anthracite gray.
This is the anthracite gray.
Well, it's not black. It looks dark, but
It is dark.
It has
I like it though.
it has a rich grayish silver color.
Yeah.
I really like this color. It's for some reason I feel it's not too much of a dirt magnet, and it's a nice color, which you don't see too often.
Which lends to all the colors you're going to put inside it.
Yes.
Black is always
Well,
very dark.
That, and if you notice, like the new trend with Asus, which I will say is kind of a trendsetter when it comes to colors, they're now moving to gray as well. So, is Asus going after Phanteks style? It's like.
No, it's a great color. Some great options here on this case. I really love the ball socket joints. I'm really gonna say I think that's great.
And
And
indexing pins to keep it lined up, so it's easy to get back on.
I would say if I was gonna say the one thing that I wish it had, if it was me, I'd love to see ball socket joints all around. Do that on the side panels
But,
as well, and not do the captive
Again,
screws.
what's the price point?
$69.99, $79.99. No, I completely agree.
I think you're getting a heck of a deal.
Oh, this is an amazing case of the price.
Now, here's what my one concern is.
Sure.
What case do you see as its biggest competitor?
NZXT S340.
Nope.
Really?
I see the Pro-M.
I think Phanteks definitely undercuts the Pro-M, but I was going to say the case that's really in the same size, shape, and features, and almost very similar layout, is the NZXT 340.
That's true, I guess. Yeah, because the Pro-M is
They're almost
wider.
And the nice thing is, this is cheaper.
That's true. And much better finished.
Much better finish, much better accessory. So they're really kind of. You're right. It undercuts, but I don't think it really hurts the Pro-M because the Pro-M is something different.
One thing I should mention is that Phanteks, for this case, is not using their slide-out radiator mounting system.
And there's a reason for that, though. And
Yes.
we are pretty certain that you can't put a radiator in the top.
Well,
It would be really tight.
you never tell a monkey what not to do.
I think you,
You know
can.
that?
I think you could put a 240, but you couldn't go with the 280.
You have to remember though. Look at where the board's mounting there, guys.
I see it.
I'm just saying.
Oh, I can easily fit a 240 there.
Okay.
We will find out in the review.
We will
that
find out in
Glenn
the
does.
review. We will give it a shot.
So this is going to be Graham's first water-cooled custom loop build.
Yes, this will be a custom loop build. We are because the condition of me doing this review was that I had to do a full custom loop water in
Yes.
here. At the very least, a CPU loop.
Yes.
Don't know if we're gonna do a GPU.
Yeah,
or
we'll
not.
just do a CPU loop. So.
Yeah. Because, So that was the condition. It's gonna be really quiet.
Okay. What would you say, 30-second overview, quick reaction of the new Phanteks P400S?
Bang for your buck. This is going to be the case that you really get the bang for your buck. You're getting a lot of great features for an amazing price. Under $100, beats the competition hands down. Even some of Phanteks' own cases, it's pretty competitive with. This is amazing, and that LED controller on top of it. I wasn't even, even if you got all these other features at that price, you're getting that LED controller. No other case manufacturer can say that.
What about you, Greg?
I have a similar view on it. I do like the fact that it can be a silent case, even though this is a silent version, the S model. It can be a silent case, or you can go full loop in there and put fans loaded up with fans without having to make much changes.
Yeah.
Plus, including the magnetic filters and filters everywhere else, it's going to make it a clean case,
What I really love about this case is I see it as one of the most practical cases for almost any kind of build. When I say practical, I'm talking about a person who's going to do, maybe one GPU, two GPUs, and if you do that, not too many hard drives, you still have enough space to put a 360 radiator in the front, because that's all you need, practically speaking. And you can keep everything cool, make it look really nice, and this look is just nice, sleek, and just kind of timeless. So, great job, Phanteks, and stay tuned to the ZooTube. Monkeys will be back with more, and don't forget to check out the reviews on themodzu.com. And if you want to get anything cut, just call Greg at 1-800-GREG. Please call.
I was going to go with 1-800-SNIP-SNIP.
Ooh, 1-800-SNIP-SNIP. Don't call for your cat. Meow.